Okay, I think we are live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Death Valley region of Eastern California. I'm Mike Jerry, and tonight we're going to see some cool galaxies. It is galaxy season, and we've got a whole bunch of galaxies we can go through here. Some large and some small, and well, they're all actually really large, but they're really, really far away, so some of them look pretty small to us. But hopefully tonight we'll get to see some pretty cool stuff. So let me turn that off so that we can see the screen here, and I'll make sure that I think I got this window the right size so that you guys can see what needs to be seen. But I'll have to see. Yeah, actually that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Let me get this over maybe just a little bit more. Okay. Alright, so let me go to my Planetarium software here, and we will take a look at what we're going to see tonight. I gotta get this size so that I can actually, so that you can see what's going on. Alright, so here's the Big Dipper. Everybody can identify that in the northern sky. Right now it's pretty high in the northeastern sky, and all these red circles here are all the galaxies that we have in front of us. So there's some pretty cool ones. Gosh, it's like there's so much to choose from. It's kind of hard to figure out where to start. But let's just start with NG 3359. Alright. Okay. And we'll start on this guy. As you can see here tonight, we've got a little bit of an intermittent breeze, and we also have some high, thin, wispy clouds every here and there. So we may end up having some sub-exposures dropped because of the high, thin clouds, but we should be in pretty good shape. It's overall a really nice night, and the breeze is supposed to be dying off completely, so hopefully we'll have just a nice calm night. Of course, the downside of having a nice calm night is that the mosquitoes will show up. The breeze actually helps keep the mosquitoes down, but it also is annoying in the microphone. I know you guys can hear that pretty well. In fact, I know what you can also hear is probably the crickets. The crickets seem to be pretty noisy in the microphone. They seem to be the right frequency to drive the microphone nuts and be heard really well. So, all right, first sub-exposure coming in. Oh, and there we are. There's a nice little guy there. And our color balance is way off, but that should bring it into line. Okay. Bring this back, bring this over. Got a nice yellow star up there. Right, here's a nice barred spiral galaxy there. And again, this is NGC 3359. see what Wikipedia has to say about NGC 3359 here. NGC 3359. The constellation Ursa Major. It's a barred spiral located 59 million light years from Earth. So unlike any of the objects that are in our solar system, that are, our galaxy in the Milky Way that we're used to looking at, like clusters and nebulae and those sorts of things, which are hundreds, if not thousands, of light years away. Tonight we're talking about galaxies, and that means millions of light years away, anywhere from small numbers of millions to hundreds and even thousands of millions of light years away. So it's very much like traveling back in time, because we're seeing the light as we're seeing the light that left this galaxy 59 million years ago. And so we have no idea what it looks like today, but 59 million years ago it looked like this. So we're almost time traveling here. Okay, we'll rebalance a little bit here. There we go. Start to see it a little better. William Herschel discovered it in 1793. And it's got a nice central bar. NGC 3559. NGC 33 is devouring the much smaller galaxy nicknamed the Little Cub. Well, it says there's a smaller galaxy, huh? Although they have a misprint here, and Wikipedia says NGC 3559, but this is NGC 3359. I'm going to assume that's a typo. It says it's devouring the much smaller galaxy nicknamed the Little Cub. Let me go to that page and see if that has its own NGC number. Nope. Even though the Wikipedia has it linked, it doesn't seem to go to the page. They don't actually have a page for it, so I don't know. But it is a nice little barred spiral galaxy with the arms you can see extending out well out from it. So good evening, Jeff. The really crazy thing is that they say that the time slows down to nothing at the speed of light, so even though it's so far away, the light photons may arrive in a moment. Hey, Curtis. Yeah, it's our first little galaxy out of the gate. I just kind of picked one at random. There's so many up there that it's almost hard to pick one to start with, but NGC 3359 is what this one is. NGC. In fact, I'll put that up here in the little window so you can see it. Now we just need to collect some more photons. Curtis says, yeah, he noticed that the CN forum removed the broadcast announcement from a pinned post. Yes, they actually did that quite a while ago, many months ago, and because it just wasn't getting frequently used. And in fact, if you look at it, I'm the last 10 posts. So they said it wasn't getting used much when it was pinned, so they took it down. So I just have it bookmarked, and I just post a new post in it whenever I'm doing a broadcast. But I seem to be the only one keeping it alive, so it doesn't seem to be a very popular thing anymore. There used to be a lot more people broadcasting, but I guess not anymore for whatever reason. Okay, I should probably get the background music going too. I changed my levels a little bit tonight, so let me know if I'm too loud, the background music is too loud, whatever. I've been slowly turning my levels up because I've been noticing that my audio levels have been pretty soft in my YouTube streams compared to most other broadcasters. So been working at kind of cranking things up a little bit to see if that helps. Yeah, we've got some knots of probably star formation and whatnot in these arms here. Got another one here. Let's yeah, see, you got a little bit of a. Let me get my. There we go. Well, that's about right. Limitation is CN to get with good mix, good level. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate the feedback. Some that were broadcasting on YouTube were monetizing or had other activities and couldn't post anymore. Bummer. Oh well, it's still very usable. You know, so I just post to it. I have that thread bookmarked, like I said, so I just post to it when I'm doing broadcasts, and clearly somebody's still paying attention, so it's not completely defunct. Still a pretty cool thread to have on there to let people know when you are broadcasting, so. Anyway, as I said, this little galaxy is 59 million light years away and was discovered by William Herschel in 1793. It says here the central bar is approximately 500 million years old, which is very young. I'm not sure why why it would have formed so recently. In galactic terms, that's pretty darn young. Oh, that was the point for people to subscribe to the thread and get emails. I know someone was going to do a show. You know, that never even occurred to me. That's funny. Even as somebody who, as a broadcaster, uses it frequently, it never occurred to me to actually subscribe to the thread. Hopefully, I'm more dense than most, because that obviously would be a good use for it now, wouldn't it? Of course, I guess I don't need to subscribe now. I seem to be the only one using it. Looks like my color balance might be off a little bit again. Yep, bring it back in. There we go. So Jeff asks if I wanted to upgrade my scope with a noticeable improvement. What scopes would you be looking at? You know, I have asked myself that a number of times in the last, several months, considering getting a new scope, and yeah, that's a really good question. I've considered a Rasa, but they're finicky and they have even less focal length. That I really don't want to go to less focal length than I've got right now. 450 is working, pretty well for me. but I wouldn't want to go any much less, or like really small objects like this get, you know, you start losing resolution when you start losing focal length. So, you know, the RASA is nice for really faint stuff, but it's too small, it's too short. And a RASA 11, well, that would be, I think, 620 millimeters of focal length on that. That would be sweet. That's just way too heavy. A 40-pound scope is just way bigger and heavier than I want to deal with. So I don't think either one of those really are a substantial improvement over what I've got. The RASA is 400 millimeters at f2. I'm at 450 at f3. I think that's pretty good. And I don't have to deal with any of the finicky issues of the RASA with sensor tilt and just all the little quirks that come along with it. So I thought about this RASA and I've dismissed it, and then I also thought about maybe going up to the 8-inch imaging newt, the 8-inch f4, because that would give me, you know, again, 600 millimeters of focal length at f3, which is nice. Give me a little bit less field of view, but a little bit more resolution, and that's okay. But it would close to double the weight of my scope. You know, my scope currently is, well, and in fact, thank you for the reminder, because I should show you guys my setup. I should be letting you guys see what I got going on here. So here is what I use, and so this is what Jeff is referring to as my 6-inch f4 imaging Newtonian, and it's just a reflector telescope here that's on my AM5 mount, which is on my spare no expense cinder block pier. And the camera goes in up here, and I'm sitting behind this laptop as we speak here, and so this is the scope that I use, 6-inch imaging newt, which is a focal ratio of 4, which is good for imaging. It's pretty fast in optical terms, and so the RASA would be a jump up to 8 inches at f2, but I don't want to lose any more focal length than what where I'm at currently, and so. Does it look like this is, well, I don't know, is it looking like this is frozen? Oh, no, shouldn't be. Okay, I seem to be having an issue with the playback here. Okay, anyway. So I considered the 8-inch f4, and it seems like it would give me more focal length, but it just seems like a lot more weight than a lot more size and weight that I really need. I really like the the size and weight of the 6-inch, so I've considered the 8, but I just don't think it would be that much of an improvement over what I've got now for the extra size and weight, and having to store a larger scope, and all the things that come along with that. So yeah, I haven't really done anything about that, and so I mean I'm just really. And then another thing I considered doing was going to just a better quality 6-inch. Going over to telescope service over in Germany and getting just a higher quality scope, but they cost a lot more money, and I'm not sure they get me a whole lot more money's worth of performance. So, because I do pretty well with this now that I got it tweaked. So, yeah, so I don't think I have a very good answer for you. Jeff, I've looked at a number of things and pretty much decided that I'm pretty darn happy where I am with what I've got. My cheapy little scope just works really well, and to go to something else would cost a lot more money and or more weight and size, and I just don't know that I want to go there. So anyway, there's 3359. So let's go back over to Stellarium here, and let's pick. These two are a nice thing to do here. M108 and 97 are both nice little Messier objects, and it allows us to get a galaxy. Okay, allows us to get a galaxy in and a little planetary nebula in the same shot. Did that move? Huh, I don't know what just happened there. Well, it's claiming it's dead center. Okay. I'm not seeing it, but let's see what we get here. Like my internet is, based on the playback I'm seeing here, looks like the internet is being herky-jerky again tonight. Oh well. Hopefully you guys are at least hearing me okay without too many interruptions. But it looks like the video is going to be a bit jerky. Alright, let's see what we get here. Yep, okay. It is right there. I just couldn't see them for whatever reason. But there's M108 down here and M97 up there, which is a planetary nebula. So, we'll get a few more subs on those. That looks a little blue. That's probably about right. Okay. So anyway, to get back to this, looks like we're back on track here. Yeah, I've looked at a number of different options, and I just can't find anything that would be much better than what I've got now. Even spending a bunch more money, I don't know that I would get a whole lot better than what I've got here. You know, all optics are Chinese made, so even the TS optics, imaging Newtonians are still, you know, Chinese optics, so it's still kind of a crapshoot. They claim to pick better class of optics for their scopes, but I don't know. And I seem to have a pretty good mirror in this little 6-inch of mine. So you know, I just don't think it would be worth the money to go up to it. So, but those are the thoughts that I've been having. Yeah, I have not come across something that would be, you know, that would be better than what I've got now. Certainly considering the money. So yeah, it's just it seems to be I seem to be in such a good, happy spot here that it's like the tough part about being in a happy spot is that to go somewhere better is usually takes a Herculean effort or a lot of money or a lot of something, and I'm just really pretty happy where I am. So yeah, that's a really, really long answer to kind of a really, really long non-answer, but that's how I've been thinking about it. And yeah, I haven't really come across anything that that has really wowed me, so I just kind of stay right where I am. So okay, let me catch up on some. So Curtis says, yep, cost, size, weight, pick 2. Yeah, it's the old hot rodders thing, right? What is it they say about cars? Fast, cheap, and reliable. Pick any 2. Or something like that. You can pick any 2, but you can't have all 3. But yeah, got several newts. Well, I don't know that I don't know. Going to a 12 is certainly something I'll never do. A 10 is even too heavy. I mean, if I wanted to go to a 40-pound scope, I could consider a Rasa 11. That would be pretty sweet. But I do just, my 58-year-old back just doesn't want to haul that kind of stuff around. I could right now, but in a few years I'm not going to want to. And so I'm not going to invest big dollars in something I don't want to haul around. And, the 6-inch newt is, with the guide scope and camera and everything mounted on it, it's, maybe 13, 14 pounds, maybe 15 pounds tops. That's really sweet to carry in and out of the house every night. And, that's one of the reasons I went with the AM5. It does everything I need, and it weighs 11 pounds. And it's just great, so I'd like to not have to carry anything that's more than 15 pounds around anymore. And so the biggest drawback for me going to the 8-inch newt is that now I would be 20 plus pounds. And, again, something I could certainly handle right now, but in a few years, maybe not. But this is just a setup that works really well, and it's, it's kind of future-proofed. So, Curtis says the ones he uses most is the 8-inch and the 6-inch. Yeah, the smaller ones, right? Who wants to haul around a 12-inch f4? Good Lord. So what, a 60-pound scope? That's just a 50, 60-pound scope. That's a big scope and a lot of weight. And, now if I had an observatory where I could leave things set up all the time, well, now that's a whole different kettle of fish. But yeah, that's not what I have. I have, for me, it's setting up and breaking down every night, and so I need to, I need to consider weight and ease of dealing with. So bigger scopes just aren't going to be work. Jeff says I could be wrong, but it seems to me that the higher end scopes have a higher F and are not as wide field, so that you can really get in tight. Well, like I said, you can go to telescope service and get f4 imaging Newtonians. They have Newtonians from f4 all the way up to at least f6, so you can kind of pick your speed. Use a reducer like the Star Arizona Nexus that I have here, and get down to f3. So you can go pretty fast with them, and I've really been happy with my Nexus on this scope, so which is what we're using tonight. So, yeah. Yeah, for lower F ratio. Yeah, for imaging, the lower F ratios are generally better, provided you're not losing so much focal length that you lose resolution. That's kind of the balance you play, and why I really haven't gone to a Rasa. Do I have issues with the wind on the 6 or 8-inch newt? I'm assuming you meant that for Curtis. I have a little bit of an issue, but not bad. So it's not really much of an issue. But Yeah, I'm just pretty happy where I am, so I'll spend the money on something else. Why not? And we got some nice satellite photo bombs here. One going in each direction. Neither one of them went through the objects we're looking at, though. So let's do a little bit of a zoom in on 108 here. We're seeing some structure in that. That's pretty cool. These stars here obviously are in the foreground. These are in our Milky Way. Our Milky Way galaxy, so they're very much in the foreground, way in the foreground here. And then M108 there is in the background. That's in fact 108 galaxy in Ursa Major. Let's see how far away this is. Or the surfboard is a barred spiral galaxy, 28 million light years. So this one is half the distance of the other one. Half the distance of 3359. So this one's a lot closer to us. Discovered by Pierre Marchand in 1781 or 2. It's from the Earth. It's seen almost edge on. It's an isolated member of the Ursa Major cluster of galaxies in the local supercluster. It's a barred spiral with somewhat loosely wound arms. It has an estimated mass of 125 billion solar masses and bears about 300 or so globular clusters. A few supernovae have been found, including one last year. So 28 million light years away for this little galaxy friend of ours. And then up here we have the little planetary nebula in M97, where you can kind of see the central star and a little bit of clear space in there, and then the bubble of the nebula itself. In fact, I might even back off on the stretch a little so we can see a little bit more of the structure a little bit better. A little bit more of the structure. Car says, I don't know what my 12-inch weighs. Yeah, typically 10-inch newts are around 40 pounds and 12s are usually around 60. A 12-inch mirror is a big-ass mirror. So they typically people carry those around and wheel those from their cars in two-wheel dollies and don't carry them. So yes, M97 is the Owl Nebula. That is its other name. And Happy Wish says thank you, and you're very welcome. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Made it into a strut. Very nice view. I'm going to have a Dob mount made with tracking, so I don't have to lift it up. Well, they have Dob platforms, tracking platforms already. The things you put on the ground, it automatically moves the thing across the sky. Pete, hey Pete. Yes, long time. Yes, I didn't see you guys come. Did you guys come out here this year? Don't recall seeing you guys. Thanks for stopping by, though. But yeah, this is a planetary nebula, which actually has nothing to do with planets. It's a sun much like our own that is in its death or early death process. It actually starts expanding and expanding and expanding as it starts running out of fuel and changing fuel sources. It starts expanding and expanding and expanding and blows off layers of itself out into space. And what's left is a core that's still burning, not nearly as hot or bright as the original star, but it's still burning bright enough that you can usually see it, and it illuminates all of the matter, the material, the gases that it's blowing off as part of its expansion. So it looks sort of planetary-like, which is how it got its original name. But yeah, this is probably the central star here, and this is all the gases that it's blowing out around it. So it's a planetary nebula. And then we've got our... These two are a nice thing to see together. If you got a good enough field of view, having these things be together, the Surfboard Galaxy and the Owl Nebula. Time for me to take a drink. Jeff, I even considered going to refractors. In fact, in December I bought a refractor, an AT 115 EDT, which is it was a beautiful scope, just a beautiful scope. But it's f7 native, and even with its reducer, it's f5.6, which compared to what I'm used to doing was just way too slow. And so I just couldn't hang with it. So I just sold it. I've gotten too spoiled as an imager with faster scopes. Life begins at f4 as far as I'm concerned. So it has to be fast for me. I like fast light collection, which is what made me really happy to discover the Starizona Nexus and bring my f4 newt down to f3. And let me really view this kind of faint stuff with a camera, and with a color camera too, which tends to be less sensitive. But when it's going f3 speed, that makes up for it. So, hey George, good to see you. Good to see you here instead of on NSN. How did you hear about my broadcast? You're not on my email list, I don't think. Fun to see you here, though. Okay, so there's M108N97. Together again, the Owl Nebula. Take one more zoom in on the owl. That's probably a little bit too much zoom. Starts getting a little grainy if I go in too far. Curtis and George and I usually hang out on Night Skies Network, which is normally where I broadcast. But every now and again it's fun to come back here and do the YouTube thing. YouTube is a lot more complicated to broadcast through. It takes more software and kind of more, got to spin some more plates to do it. And Night Skies Network makes things a bit easier. But yeah. So we're used to hanging out over there, and boy, I've got even more satellites, but they keep missing the objects, which is very courteous of them to do that. The bottom line issue with 6-inch f4 is collimation. That is everything. Yeah, I hear people say that collimation is the big thing, and it has not been my experience. I rarely have to collimate this scope. Even at f3 now, I rarely have to collimate it. I collimate it real well with my cat's eye system, and it holds collimation for months. I have not found collimation to be an issue. So yeah, not really been an issue. Okay, let's see who we got here. Let's pick another guy. The vacuum cleaner galaxy, M109. That sounds like a good one to go to. Next, we just did 108. Let's do 109. Next, Target. Actually, you skanked it from a Curtis post just now. Oh. Curtis is my marketing arm. Okay, vacuum cleaner galaxy. Let's go to the vacuum cleaner galaxy. Alright, says it's right there, so we'll put her there. And let's get started. Oh, on the NSN Facebook group? That's fun. I announce my broadcasts on like the my Las Vegas club group, and you know, a couple of groups that I'm a member of, but I don't do it on NSN because I think it's kind of a bit gauche to announce a broadcast on another network other than NSN, so I don't usually put anything up there, but I'll, you know, anybody who wants to be added to my email list, you know, I'm happy to do that, so. But like I said, most of the time I'm on NSN anyway, so. Not a big deal. Alright, vacuum cleaner galaxy. I don't know that I've figured out how they named this a vacuum cleaner, but yeah, so back to the collimation thing. I have found that the big concerns and fears when it comes to collimation are mostly spread by refractor snobs and people who just couldn't figure out how to do collimation properly. I have not found it to be a big deal. And yes, the faster you go, the more persnickety you need to be about it, the more touchy collimation is. But if you treat your scope gingerly and are careful when you're carrying it, and you know, I have found that I can go months with without having to recollimate. And even at F3, I found I haven't collimated this thing, and it's been several sessions I've been out. And you know, at F3, I'm not seeing any issues. So maybe I'm not looking hard enough, but. What am I doing here? Something's banging at me. Don't know what. Maybe power. So we'll just throw some power in there. But I have not found it. Long story short, I have not found it to be an issue, and I would not worry about it. If you treat things down. Now, if you have to drive somewhere with the scope and you're going over bumpy roads and stuff, yeah, when you get there, you may have to touch up the collimation. But I have found it to be rarely an issue, and I do travel around with this setup a few times a year, so I just have not found it to be that much of an issue at all. Somehow someone names the cell phone cluster. Not sure what that means, George. Maybe you can translate from depending on which one you get. The standard GSO 6-inch f4s, like all of the Chinese scopes, they have their downsides. They're made inexpensively, so there are some things that you can improve with the primary mirror cell on the back of these 6-inch f4s. the mirror cell is made, the adjustment studs are made a little bit sloppy, so that when you turn it one way the mirror moves, and you turn it back the other way, the mirror doesn't retrace its steps. It kind of moves sideways a little bit instead of moving back, and moves back, so it's a little bit sloppy. Some people put little plastic sleeves on the studs, the adjustment studs, to combat that. I actually just went and had a custom mirror cell made that was higher quality. That is one thing if you went with the TS optics. Newtonian would be better, most probably. I seem to be losing subs now. Let's see what's happening here. Yep, my brightness. So we've got just a little bit of a high thin cloud that has moved over, and it's so high thin and wispy that I can't see it naked eye. But yeah, this evening before sunset, we had these really faint high thin clouds, and there we go, that one came in. So intermittently I may lose some subs because of those little high thin wispies that are going to move across. So yeah, I mean, there's little things like that, but there are a couple of threads on cloudy nights about people who have tweaked and tuned these 6-inch f4 newts, and what they've done to fix the little niggling issues that they do have. And so, I can, if you send me a personal message on, PM me on cloudy nights, and I can send you the links to those two threads. But there's little tweaks and things here and there, and that you just get when dealing with these Chinese scopes. Who's banging about guiding stop? The scope started slewing. Wow. Guiding is just doing crazy stuff. And I think it's, the guiding is doing crazy stuff because of the high thin clouds. That's why it's kind of going all over the place, because of the little cloudiness. So, like I said, it's they have their little quirks and foibles, but they work pretty darn well for their price. And so I've really enjoyed mine. I have not found collimation to be a problem, and I've not found them holding collimation to be a problem. But and in terms of laser, I tend not to use a laser. I have the cat's eye system, which is just completely passive, no laser. I mean, I've lusted after lasers here and there. It's like, oh, because they're so cool. They're like, toys. They're cool gadgets. The lasers are, but ultimately, especially if you're f4 or faster, you want to use an odd finish with an auto collimator, even if you use a laser. And so why have a laser when I already have a Cheshire and collimation tools in the cat's eye kit that provides everything I need, and provides all kinds of precision, I guess is the word I'm looking for, with regard to the collimation accuracy. So George says, you asked about how someone names a vacuum cleaner galaxy, so probably the same as how someone named the cell phone cluster. Ah, okay. Cell phone cluster. I didn't even know there was a cell phone cluster. Okay, well, I don't know. The guiding is just going absolutely bonkers. I don't know why. Well, this isn't even... You know what? I think I'm just going to stop this, repick these, and restart again, and clear this. I think it just got pretty messed up. Let's see what that does. The image is coming out okay, so that's ultimately all that counts, is the image. But yeah, Curtis, I agree that the cat's eye system is really cool. It's very well made stuff. It's not cheap. Pick up a used kit on cloudy nights if you can. I got mine for like half the price of new. Yeah, you want to pick it up used if you can get it. Yeah, you don't need to have a laser. It works really well, and the autocollimator gives more precision than any laser could give you anyway, and that's what you end up finishing up with. So it just works really well. And there's a nice video that he has on the Cat's Eye site that shows how to use the tools. So it takes a little practice, but once you get it, it just takes a few minutes to touch up your collimation anytime you need to, which, as I said, is very rare. Very rarely do I find I have to do that. Thanks, George. Yeah, that one tonight's coming out pretty nice. Coming out pretty darn nice. And now we're stacking again. Yeah, and now the guiding is calmed way down. So somehow the guiding got messed up. The clouds messed up the guiding, and it lost the guide stars and couldn't find them again, which is why it was just going crazy. So it's all good again now. I just needed to stop and restart the guider. Have I seen Mel Bortle's scopes? I've heard the name. I don't know that I've seen his scopes. I'm not sure. I'm not too sure. Alright, so I've gotten sloppy here in M109. Should have that written up there. I keep forgetting to do it. No, you can't put put links in YouTube chat. In fact, I don't think even I, as a broadcaster, can do it. YouTube does not want their eyeballs on their website being pointed to anybody else's website. So, no, you can't put links in there. A 13-inch f3, Mel Bortle, huh? 13-inch f3. Yeah, I know that there are people who make some pretty fast newts. Mel Bortle. Like my internet is doing its usual flaky thing. Yeah, well. Let's see, are we dropping subs again here? No, that one came in okay. Lots of galaxies in this picture, as you can see. There's one there, there's another little guy there. In fact, there's probably a ton of them in this view. If we look, certainly there's one there. I can pull up the annotation. There's probably going to be just a littered ton of them. Yeah, that's what I thought. There's a whole ton of galaxies in here. But that's why it's called galaxy season. It's because in the spring is a season when a whole very rich patch of galaxies moves right over us nice and high in the sky. And we spend April, May, even into June, looking at some pretty spectacular galaxy images. But yeah, they're all, a whole bunch of them in there. Right now we're kind of stuck on our M109 vacuum cleaner galaxy. It was a nice, there's the bar you can see, the barred spiral, with a number of nicely defined arms. Let's see what how far away this guy is. (109) barred spiral exhibiting a weak inner ring structure around the central bar. It's about 70, 80 million light years. Yeah, somewhere in the 70 to 80 million light years. So this one's the furthest away that we've seen so far tonight. Discovered by Pierre Marchand in 1781. Charles Messier catalogued it 2 years later. Oh, well, thank you, Happy Wish, for being here. So this one is by far the furthest away we've seen so far. We've seen 60 and 28, and now this one's approximately 70 or 80, somewhere in there, roughly speaking. So this one, and it looks pretty big to us, even being that far away. So it must be a pretty big galaxy. But it does have a lot of nice structure. So George, how are my crickets sounding tonight? It's weird talking to you guys and not being able to hear your responses pretty much immediately. I have to wait like 30 to 45 seconds to see your responses in the chat. Another great feature of NSN, the live vocal chat, back and forth. Alright, we'll take another sub or two of this, and we'll call it good. What are we going to see next? Yeah, that's guiding in the 0.3s now. Sweet. Okay, what are we going to see next? I haven't even hardly left the dipper yet. 3953. Yeah, I think we can get probably these two in the same field of view. That's where we'll go next. Jeff says, when I worked in corporate and traveled around the world got a little smaller. When I look at your work showing us the universe gets a little smaller. Yeah, well, that's only what I can see. There's a whole ton of stuff out there that I can't see, so trust me, it's still pretty darn big. We could simulate that with a disco channel. we could simulate that with a disco channel. Oh, a Discord. I couldn't see because of there's a little heart icon in the bottom of this chat window now, and it blocks the very bottom part of the chat, which is really annoying. I wish I could get rid of it. Yeah, all I could see was I couldn't see the last two letters of the word, so it looked like with a disco channel. And so but now that the chat moved up because you chatted again, it moved out above that little heart icon, which blocked part of the word Discord. Yeah, a Discord channel. Yeah, not Curtis. Corey Mooney used to do that back when he was broadcasting on YouTube. He would announce his broadcasts on CN as well in the broadcast thread. And he was doing a Discord channel with somebody, so I've seen it done, but I set up a Discord server so people could broadcast and have others to talk to while they did. Yeah. Well, I've never used Discord, so alright. I think we're good on that. Let's go over to here and we'll do 3953. See, can I do a star? If I could pick a star in between them. No, not that. That. Even better, that. Yeah, we'll just do both of these. Alright, let's go do both of these next two. Next Target. Okay. And I'm not even going to bother to play solve because on such a short hop, we're bound to be right on it. First sub coming in. There's our two galaxies. So, 2, 3, 4. Quite a few galaxies in there. There's definitely one there. That's a fuzzy one there. That looks like another edge on spiral there. Definitely some galaxies going on. We'll give these a couple of subs and zoom in on them a little bit once we have a little more data. It is a beautiful night here, though. The breeze has died off completely, as the forecast said it would, and just a nice night. little guy dead center. Yeah. Well, let's identify the little guy dead center. UGC 6840. Mag 14. So it has a UGC number and a CGC number. But UGC 6840. I'll let you look it up. These two have NG. This one has an NGC number, this little guy. The rest of these are in the PGCs and UGC catalog. PGC, 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 FGC? I never heard of FGC. UGC 6840. Look it up, George. See what it is. Jeff asks if the eclipse was a little east of me. Oh, maybe you're talking to George. Because it was way east of me. Texas and Arkansas was as close as it got to where I am. So, several hundred miles east. Maybe even close to 1,000 miles east. Yeah, well, we got a few subs going here. Yeah, I got some nice structure in the sky. NGC 3953. Let's see what they have to say about this guy. NGC 3953. Barred spiral galaxy located in Ursa Major. The galaxy is known to exhibit an inner ring structure that encircles the bar. It is a member of the M109 group, a large group of galaxies located within the constellation Ursa Major that may contain over 50 galaxies. Well, that's all they have to say. Apparent size, apparent magnitude, blah 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 blah. They don't seem to indicate how far away it is. Does have a lot of nice structure though. It was 99.6% here. So I drove 60 miles east to get to 2-minute totality. Under the clouds. So mostly got the massive shadow coma. Massive shadow coma. I think it says coma. Again, that little stupid heart symbol, I can't read the last letters of that word. Linger go at Mach 3. Yeah, if you were asking me, it's way east of me. But Georgia was pretty darn close. Actually, my folks in northern New England and New Hampshire, they were pretty close too. They were like, I think, 98% or something. Alright, let's see how we're doing here. I haven't even been paying attention to any of this. Seems to be working goodly. Did a 5-second time lapse of the 2-minute dark totality posted on Facebook. anywhere near Tilton. Oh, a bit south of that. They're actually just south of Manchester, actually. A little town called Litchfield, where I'm from. No info on UGC 6840. That's not surprising. Even the information on PGC catalog stuff is a little sparse. UGC. Yeah. You went to Tilton School. Anything on this guy? I wonder if you can see any detail on this guy. Obviously an edge-on spiral with a nice little core in there. Not really seeing a whole lot else there though. NGC 3917. Let's see if we can see. NGC 3917. No. No apparent info on that guy. This one's pretty nice though. Really nice spiral arms spinning out from that. Hubble Optics has some good sale prices right now. 12-inch f3 is tempting. Then I could have two 12-inch scopes. My wife would love that. Yeah, I'm sure she would. Then what you could do is make a binoscope out of them. Like the JMI binoscope thingies, where you have two 12 or 14, or even I think the biggest one is like two 16-inch scopes. One eyeball looking into each one. What are we going to look at next? Yeah, that one's pretty small. I think we can get these guys together. And an interacting one here as well. There's even a chance we could get all three in there. Maybe. Might be able to get all three in there. I don't have a conveniently placed star that would allow me to do that, but well, maybe this one. That might work. This one might even be a little better. We'll try and do a threefer on the next one. We'll finish this one up and then we'll go to those three. I see the Hubble's 12-inch f4.5. Is there a f3? Yes, down below. They list their eBay sales. Okay. Let's see if we can pull off a threefer on this next one. Okay, let's get it going. Yeah, got all three. 1, 2, and 3. Oh, isn't that an interesting looking one down there, huh? Cool. .100, 4157. Look at all the galaxies. So this is 4088. NGC 4088 is down here. And of course I've got another one here. Oh, there's tons of them in this image, but these three are right together. Intermediate spiral galaxy in Ursa Major. The galaxy forms a physical pair with 4085, which is located 11 arc minutes away. Oh, so these two are actually paired up. They're a gravitational pair. Right, I'm assuming this is 4085 here. Yeah, 4085. And this is 4088, even it's called ARP 1018 here, but, or 18. But yeah, these two are gravitationally paired. These two are interacting, orbiting each other. NGC 4088 is a grand design spiral. This means that the spiral arms in the galaxy's disk are sharply defined. In visible light, one of the spiral arms appears to have a disconnected segment. It is an interesting looking galaxy, though. Very interesting looking galaxy. Nice little spiral shape in here. See the swirl of the arms just in there with a nice core. That's kind of a neat looking one. Do I think people are looking back at us in the Milky Way? Well, who knows, right? But I think Carl Sagan put it best. It's there's just, I mean, just the probabilities of there not being intelligent life out there, given the massive and ever-growing number of galaxies that are out there, and the billions of stars that are in each of those galaxies. The numbers are just too staggering to think that we are alone in a galaxy of this size. Just way too many stars and solar systems and planets around probably most of them, and there's bound to be somebody looking at us. Whether they would be so different from us that we would even be able to recognize them, who knows? But yeah, I imagine there's somebody or something looking at us. Cool. Hi, Joy. It's good to see you. So we've got a few galaxies in this this image. Well, at least 4 that are easy to see and a whole ton that aren't. But yeah, we've got some cool galaxies going on. These ones down here are pretty interesting. These two are actually gravitationally paired, so they're actually orbiting each other, and this one may be pulling this one out of shape a little bit as a result. So these are probably interacting. Yes, Galaxy Hunter at work. Proceed with caution. The world's most dangerous Galaxy Hunter. Don't forget how tremendously staggering the odds are of successful rolls of the chemical dice just to produce proteins. Amino acids are easy. How can I forget what I never knew, George? I guess you're going to have to give us a lecture on the staggering odds of successful rolls of the chemical dice to produce proteins. Because I don't get it. And then this one actually is pretty cool. This one's a pretty nice little spiral in here. Definitely some clear spiral arms going on in that. We're looking at this almost completely edge on. Some pretty nice, nice little spirals. PhD advisor used to be his boss at Chicago. Huh. Yeah, Carl was a heck of a guy. All right. So we got 3 and 1 there. Oh, can we do it again? Can we do it again and do another 3 and 1? I think we can. Yeah, we're going to do it again. Another 3 and 1. So there's these 4, pretty nice. Let's go see the next batch. Yeah, thanks, Joy. I'm seeing how many I can get in one shot. Doing 2-fers and 3-fers. So that's a 1 there. Well, let's plate solve because I want to get it exactly correct because we're trying to fit so many in there. Alright, let's see if we can, how many we get in this one. I mean, principally I'm going for the big ones, 4220, 4217, and of course M106. But then there's going to be others like theirs. We've already got one right there from Stellarium. There's going to be a ton of others in there too, so we'll see how many we can actually see this time. M106 will be the star of this particular view, but we'll see how many we can see. Alright, first sub-exposure, let's see what we got. Yeah, 106. There we go. There's all 4 of those. We can even zoom in a bit. We got room to spare. Oh man, this is a nice edge on with a dust lane. Oh, that's a nice one. Yeah, look at that. Oh, that's going to be really nice when we get a few more subs in. That one's going to be nice to look at. Sort of hamburger galaxy-ish or sombrero-ish. Sort of a micro sombrero galaxy. Oh, thanks for being here, Scoot. Appreciate it. Nice to have someone along who's out here trying to do this too. Wasn't able to get my rig. Oh. Well, where are you located? Was it a weather issue or was it a rig issue? And this guy here is a little one. Oh boy, that's definitely a galaxy there. These two here look like a pair of galaxies. Let's see what we got here. Really? They're claiming these are not galaxies? Get out of town. Those have got to be galaxies in there. Yeah, these two things are definitely galaxies, not stars. I wonder why they're not showing. They're just not showing up in my particular catalogs. Those are definitely not stars. Yeah, they're missing from my catalog, so they don't look that faint either. They don't look like they're fainter than Mag 18. They look significantly brighter, but for whatever reason, they don't happen to be in the catalogs I'm using. Quite a contrast of galaxies, huh? Nice big one in M106 at the top there, and heck, it might not even be the star of the show. This is gonna pull in some nice detail here. But 106, and I wonder if this is a companion of 106. Let's see what Wikipedia has to say. Messier 106. An intermediate spiral galaxy discovered by Pierre Marchand in 1781. It's 22 to 25 million light years away, so one of the closer ones we've looked at tonight. Contains an active nucleus, type 2 Seyfert, and the presence of a central supermassive black hole has been demonstrated from radio wavelength observations. NGC 4217 is a possible companion galaxy of M106. 4217, I'm assuming that's what this is. No, that's 4248. 4217, what's 4217? Oh, this one way down here. Okay, so this really cool looking micro sombrero down here is a possible companion galaxy to 106. Okay. M106 has a water vapor megamaser, the equivalent of a laser operating in microwave instead of visible light, and on a galactic scale. A megamaser. Water masers are useful for observing nuclear accretion disks in active galaxies. Huh. M106 is a slightly warped, thin, almost edge-on Keplerian disk which is on a sub-parsec scale. It surrounds a central area with a mass of 4 times 10 to the 7 million solar masses. It's one of the largest and brightest nearby galaxies, similar in size and luminosity to Andromeda. The supermassive black hole at the core has a mass of 4 times 10 to the 7th solar masses. 4 times 10 to the 7th, so 40 million times the mass of the Sun. Thanks, Joy. Good to see you. Sweet dreams. Thanks for coming in. 106 looking pretty good. Let's go down to the... Yeah, look at you. With some pretty bright stars sparkling around you. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Got a nice central core that's showing up on both sides. That's pretty sweet right there. This is 4217. Wikipedia has anything on 4217. You see 4217. Edge-on spiral galaxy, which is approximately 60 million light years. So this one is about the same as the first one we saw, 3359. About 60 million light years away. It's a possible companion galaxy to Messier 106. There was a supernova discovered in this one too. So about 60 million light years away, which means M106 is going to be about the same. But that's very cool. That's a nice looking edge-on spiral with the dust lane right through it. Right through the middle of it. The core can be seen on both sides of it. So it's just about perfectly edge-on. And of course, our other little dude out here. Yeah, not sure we're going to be able to make much out of you compared to the other two. There's not much going on there. Obviously a spiral galaxy of some kind, but... And there's 106 starting to take on a little bit of some detail, but a lot of outer wispy stuff going on outside there. And its outskirts. Picking up some cloud structure in there too. This looks like to be appears to be another galaxy out here. I wonder if it's in my catalogs. Might be too faint. No, it is. That's Mag 15. Really? Looks a lot dimmer than Mag 15, but okay. Yeah, UGC 7356. Cool. Alright, one last look at our cool little edge on here, and then we'll go find... There's another nice little companion up there too. Looks like a little spiral going on up there. An energy 42 we chased for 2 hours thinking it was a comet until Hal figured it out on the Stellarium. Didn't resolve like this. Very cool. Okay, what are we going to see next? That was a good deal there. 4096 and 4144. Yeah, looks like we can get those two in the same view. Can we get a little bit over further? Yeah, let's try that. Try those two. Okay, go. Another really short hop, so we won't even bother to plate solve. We'll just jump right back in. See what we can get. Might have a little cloud. The guider is not happy again. Might have a little cloud going on up there. Yeah. Looks like it's settled down. This first sub may be a little interesting. We may have to delete it, but we'll at least be able to tell what we're going to see. Yeah, we got them both. We got them both. How did the stars come out? Yeah, actually I think this came out pretty good actually, so I guess we won't have to reset anything. Yeah, I'm gonna anyway. Yeah. Alright, while this is building, I'm going to pop inside for a couple minutes and grab another layer. So I'll be back here shortly. Okay, I'm back. Let's see what we got here. Another edge-on spiral. Kind of interesting. It fans out bigger up top than at the bottom. George says, anything in your south that's interesting and we don't see up here at 44 North ever? I don't know. Like what? I'm kind of sticking to the north sky right now because we're just staying around the Big Dipper, but if you have something in the if you have a Stellarium target that you think would be interesting to look at, and it's currently up for me, let me know what it is. The bad old days of standard definition, yay. Blocks and fuzziness, Minecraft stars. Yeah, that was sort of interesting. This one looks like it's going to be more interesting. Yeah, a lot more structure going on with this guy. Sort of looks like the core is in there, so it's sort of an unusual 4096. Sort of an off-center, non-symmetrical thing. Let's NGC 4096. Dice 4098, 4065, 4093, 4095. This is 4096. 4096. Okay. There's 4095 and 4098. But no 4096. Oh well. Oh well. Silence, my external Bose speaker battery died. But this one has got some interesting structure in it, at least. That's kind of cool. Ah. How are the crickets? Are they still deafening on your speakers? Subdued by the music. In other words, you've drowned them out. Or I guess I've drowned them out. Another benefit of having the background music. Another benefit of the background music. Burrow in a little bit further on this guy. I got small 183 pixels. I can go in deeper. This galaxy is 4096. Yeah, it looks to me like it looks to me like it's an off-center core. That's too fuzzy to be a star, and these arms just sweep out a lot further, and they don't really, they're much shorter here. So, looks to me like an off-center core for some reason. A gravitationally influenced galaxy or something, I don't know. But the number is 4096, which does not seem to exist in Wikipedia. But maybe you can find information on it for us. German link. Time for the old Google Translate. Yeah, that's what it looks like from here. You know, this and this are pretty clearly stars, but that's a core. The color and the fuzziness. Hubble-type barred spiral galaxy, extensive star-forming regions. A Hubble-type barred spiral. Boy, I can see a bar in that, huh? I can't see a bar, but... 28 million. Oh, okay, so it's the same exact distance as the second object we saw tonight. 50,000 light years in diameter, so probably just about half the size of the Milky Way. Cool. Let's see if this guy improved any. Not really. He didn't get much better. So I think it's time for us to look for our next victims. I think we've got time to do a couple more tonight. Looks like it's a decent size, decent mag. Okay, you're already redone, so let's pop up there and see if we can... 3938. Yeah, pretty much right on. Okay. Well, thank you for the info, George. Good to know. We'll see what NGC 3938 looks like. NGC 3938. Well, good. I wouldn't want you to get too lazy. I want you to keep those research chops up to snuff, you know? Heck, if it was easy, it'd be on Wikipedia. We wouldn't have to do anything. Ooh, there's a nice one. There's a nice face-on spiral. Look at that. Another one that looks like it has a little bit of an off-center core. This will be fun to watch develop. So again, this is 3938. Wikipedia has a little bit of info on this. NGC 3938 is an unbarred spiral in Ursa Major, discovered in 1788 by George's favorite person, William Herschel. It's one of the brightest spiral galaxies in Ursa Major, South Galaxy Group. It's roughly 67,000 light years in diameter, so a little more than half the diameter of our Milky Way. It's approximately 43 million light years away, and it's a loosely wound spiral galaxy with a smaller and dimmer bulge. The spiral arms of the galaxy contain many areas of ionized atomic hydrogen gas, more so toward the center. And 5 supernovae have been found in the galaxy, I guess since we've been looking at them. Since we've been looking at supernovae. Definitely a pretty one. I think we can probably zoom in a little bit more on that. Gets a little grainy, but George says also has those abrupt angle arms, likely from previous gravitational passes of another galaxy. You could be right. Another clue to possible gravitational influence, external gravitational influence, is, again, the core seems a little bit off-center. So the stuff at the upper right seems to be more, the spiral arms seem to be more stretched out. It's almost as something up there passed on that side and kind of pulled things out of shape over there a little bit, because the left side looks all pretty nice and tight and normal wound shape and configuration. But the right side seems to be kind of like pulled out a little bit. Stretched out and something. Yes, we can all read typos. Anybody who uses a cell phone and does any texting or messaging where autocorrupt is in form knows how to read through typos and completely mislabeled words. M51-like, well, I'm actually thinking it's more M101-like, where 101 has that, that at least that one arm that's pulled further away from the rest of the galaxy. Of course, 101 doesn't have this many arms. It's not quite as well shaped as this. This one seems to have more color too. It seems to have a lot of blue in those outer arms. Where am I with this? 1.3. Maybe we can boost the color a little bit. Drop the blue down a tiny bit. was the first galaxy you saw in a book? Gosh, I don't know what first object I saw was. Probably a planet or the moon. I was somewhere in my early teen years. My parents got me a rickety old Sears refractor, and so probably not too many DSOs I've been able to see with that, so I probably was looking at one of the planets or the moon or something. That's when I kind of got hooked, I guess. Object or set of objects, and I think I'll call it a night. But this one's come out pretty well. It's come out pretty. Definitely some blue areas in here. Star formation. Alright. I think that works pretty good. So let's see if we can get... can we get these two in the same field of view? Maybe. Focus on that star, we might be able to get these two. Alright, let's give that a shot. Alright, 3938. Thanks for the fun. Thanks for all the fish. Let's pop over to these two. You know what? I changed my mind. I'm gonna let George. George is the inspiration. I wanted to finish off with a bit of a bang anyway, so let's let's go ahead and just finish off with M101. Let's just finish off with M101. We just saw that one, and here I am claiming that it reminds me of 101, so let's just go to it. Finish off with a good big bright one. Always a fun one to do. Maybe next time I'll finish with M51. I think M101 is one of our local guys. I don't think it's very far away. Messier 101, also called the Pinwheel Galaxy, face on spiral, located 21 million light years from Earth. Yeah, so it's one of our, in galactic terms, one of our closer neighbors. Yeah, there we are. And of course, other friends are in the picture. Another one up here, another one clearly over here. So, this one is, it has, this arm is just really definitely more pulled away than the rest of it, but and it's just, it's a lot less compact. It's much more dispersed than 3938 was, but it's pulled apart in some of the same ways. So down a little bit for a minute. Give that a few minutes to do some stuff. Discovered by Pierre Marchand in 1781. Communicated that year to Charles Messier, who verified its position for inclusion in the Messier catalog as one of its final entries. Pierre Marchand, the discoverer of the galaxy, described it as a nebula without star, very obscure and pretty large, 6 to 7 arc-minutes in diameter, between the left hand of Bootes and the tail of the Great Bear. It's difficult to distinguish when one lits the grating wires. It is very difficult to distinguish when one lits, L-I-T-S, the grating wires. Well, I don't know what that means. William Herschel wrote in 1784 that the galaxy was one of several which, in my 7, 10, and 20 feet focal length reflectors, shewed a mottled kind of nebulosity, which I shall call resolvable, so that I expect my present telescope will perhaps render the stars visible, of which I suppose them to be composed. Yeah, we can't render stars in distant galaxies even today. So that was wishful thinking. Lord Rosse observed the galaxy in his 72-inch diameter Newtonian reflector during the second half of the 19th century. He was the first to make extensive note of the spiral structure and made several sketches. Though the galaxy can be detected with binoculars or a small telescope, to observe the spiral structure in a telescope without a camera requires a fairly large instrument, very dark skies, and a low-power eyepiece. Well, thankfully, we have at least two of those things tonight. A camera and some pretty dark skies. So, and the ability to take 60-second exposures and stack them. M101 is a large galaxy with a diameter of 170,000 light years, which makes it about 50% bigger than our own Milky Way. Oh, there we go. By comparison, the Milky Way has a diameter of 87,000 light years. That's a small number. I've seen numbers closer to 120,000 light years for the diameter of the Milky Way. It has around 1 trillion stars, so that's a lot more than the Milky Way. It has a disk mass on the order of 100 billion solar masses, along with a small central bulge. Its characteristics can be compared to those of the Andromeda Galaxy. It has a high concentration of hydrogen beta regions. In fact, 3 of them are big enough to get their own NGC numbers. Interesting. Huh. Really, let's see. Does the annotation have those? Yeah, I'll be darned. Look at that. Here, let me actually get this a little more precise. What? Come on. Turn it off. Get this a little more precise with another plate solve. Yeah. So these NGC regions in here, see, that's another galaxy. That's another galaxy. But these hydrogen ionized regions, hydrogen beta regions, these 4 regions are actually in the Pinwheel Galaxy. So they have their own NGC numbers. They're so distinct. That's kind of cool. Definitely is a distinct galaxy. I can probably push this back up a little bit. Yeah, it is coming along nice, Curtis. I think by the time we hit the 15-minute mark, it'll be pretty clean. Well, there's our 15 minutes. So I think I am going to call it a night. Thanks everyone for being here, and hope you enjoyed the show. And I'll see you guys, well, next time, whenever the weather and my schedule and whatnot comes together. Things are obviously starting to warm up here in the desert, so looking forward to some some nice galaxy season, and then the summer beauties that are always a treat to go after later on in the summer over the next few months. So anyway, thank you everyone for being here, and hope you enjoyed yourselves. I know I sure did. And I will see you all next time.